What's going on, fam? It's your man VACAY-Jay, and yeah, this is the recap for episode 7 for Wu-Tang American Saga, the final chapter. And this is called Shadowboxing. And you know, boxers, usually when they shadow box, they are boxing themselves. And in this episode, we're going to see how there was major conflicts going on within the Wu-Tang clan. Again, there is no music success without the business side. So as we see right here, this episode is mostly about Divine handling business. He is having a huge meeting with big-time executive producer Tommy Mottola, who was married to Mariah Carey. Tommy Mottola was responsible for a lot of success for a lot of big names that we all know and love, especially in the 90s, right? So now RZA and Divine want to have a label, a sub-label under Sony Records, which Tommy Mottola is running. So he's playing Cappadonna's new stuff. He's playing Ghostface, of course. And it looks like they're very interested in Ghostface because Ghostface was on Raekwon's album, Only Built for Cuban Links. He's talking about how he knows there was 180,000 sales in the first week, and it's about to be gold. Gold means 500,000 records. So yeah, they're making a deal. Divine says he's going to sign Cappadonna and Ghostface and also get ODB to be on the remix with Mariah Carey. So now Divine is talking to the RZA, and the RZA is really impressed by what Divine is doing. They're trying to get their new label up out in LA, but it's taking a long time. It's a big process. And yeah, pretty much this episode is Divine handling his business, and we're going to see all the stress that he has gone through, that he went through in order to make moves for the group and also for individual artists out of the group. So he walks into the Wu Mansion, and it looks like there's a party going on. There's a whole bunch of people there, unfamiliar people, people rapping, drinking 40s. They're doing their thing, but totally unfamiliar, right? It's a party going on. Of course, Divine sees Raekwon. He's partying himself, and he's looking for Ghostface because he has to sign Ghostface before everybody else. Tommy Mottola said, hey, there's a lot of big names looking at Ghostface to sign him. Of course, Divine doesn't want Ghostface to sign with anybody else, but he's like, yo, where's Ghost at? Who are these people? He's like, oh, those are ODB's people, but I got some people for you to meet. So Raekwon wanted to introduce him to like some of his boys who rap. Of course, Divine has enough on his plate right now, so he's not really trying to hear that from Raekwon at this very moment. Here comes Inspector Deck, and Deck is a soldier, man. Deck definitely is coming through on some like, yo, you know, I heard you guys are doing a label, and he wants to be the first one to be signed, and it makes sense for him to be the first one signed, but Divine is telling him that, yeah, it hasn't been formulated yet. They're still putting it together. But Inspector Deck is letting him know that, hey, he's ready to rock. He's ready to make things happen. So Divine rolls up to Cappadonna. Again, that's Cappadonna. He's like, listen, I got some news for you. And he rolls over to ODB while he's playing a video game. Talking about, yeah, we need to talk and everything else like that. You know, ODB at this point, he has a successful album, but he tells him that he has a manager now, which is some janky white dude, drunk as a skunk, trying to walk over to Divine, and Divine is not trying to hear it. He's like, what? You got a manager now? Like, who is this guy? He's like, yeah, he got some big ideas. And Divine ain't trying to hear this guy. Like, this guy looks like a clown, right? So Divine walks into his room, and he's like, okay, let me get things ready. Now, again, this is also his daughter's birthday, okay? And he was supposed to be at a birthday party. So he's running around trying to get this business done, and he's looking for Ghost, but Ghost is not even in his room. Right? He goes over and sees some like, you know, ointment on the side or some type of liquid. It smells bad. And he's like, man, where's Ghost at? He's trying to sign him before anybody else. So most of this episode, you're going to see Divine handling his business with his assistants at the same time, fighting and struggling to handle business with all these random people that's in the Wu Mansion. Dude sucking his teeth, looking at Divine like he crazy. And now here we are. The Jizza is in the studio, but he's not making music. He's actually playing chess. And Divine is like, are you playing chess by yourself? He's like, nah, I'm playing with the RZA over the phone, like one move a day, right? So really, Geffen Records was on the phone with him, and they're like, yo, they want to know what's going on with the album. They need an album done. And, the Jizz is like, yo, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to make it happen. I just got to make it happen with the crew. And he's letting them know that the album is pretty much done, but he wants to get more members on there. So he's trying to get all these people. He's like, yo, what about ODB? He's like, yeah, I've been trying to get ODB to come down to the studio. I've been trying to get this person, that person. So, they all partying, but they're not trying to really jump on the Jizz's album. So he's having a conflict with that. And again, the RZA's not around either. He's in LA trying to get the label up as well. So there's a lot of conflicts going on. He is really trying to make this deal happen. All these record companies are calling him. He's letting them know that, yeah, we got things in the bag. He's trying to push things off, but he is stressed out. And you can see it in his face that he is trying to move all these pieces around. And a lot of them are not cooperating. So he's trying to talk to ODB, and he tells ODB, yo, you have an opportunity to do a remix with Mariah Carey. He's like, Mariah Carey? For real? It's like, yeah, you got an opportunity. Tommy wants you to do a remix with her. It'd be great. You used to sing her songs all the time. But he turns around and says, nah, I'm not with it. It's not me. Of course, your boy's like, come on, man, that's Mariah Carey. What are you talking about? He's like, Mariah Carey, for real? It's like you can't even believe it. And again, he's a big time star, but he's like, nah, I'm not with it. Of course, Devon is like, what? Are you crazy? Like, he doesn't even believe him, man. It's like, yo, man, talk to my manager. Talk to my manager. It's like, yo, we family, man. What are you talking about? They're cousins, and he's acting like he's big time now where he needs to talk to his manager. So this drunk dude comes over to him like, hey, man, I want to talk to you. Da, 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 da. And Devon is just so frustrated. He's like, yo, man, if you say another word, I'm just gonna. And the dude is just laughing. He's just like a clown guy, man. Like, what are you even doing there? Random dude. So anyway, you see Devon, and he's trying to get this paperwork done. He's trying to get the album done by Jizza. He's trying to do all this stuff, and he's looking for ghosts. He's going in each and every room, and all these random people are in the room. He doesn't even know them. Yo, you seen ghosts, you seen ghosts, you seen ghosts. And he can't find Ghostface Killer because he needs him to sign his paperwork. So he's thinking that Ghost has meetings with other people, or he might be messing around with some girls, but he's not around, he's not available, and he told him to be at the Wu Mansion. So Devon is on the phone again, on the phone with his assistant, and the record companies are calling. And again, this is the music side that we don't even know about that happens behind the scenes. We see all the glitz and the glamour and everything. And while he's on the phone, who walks in? Ghostface finally walks in. So he's like, yo, what's going on, Ghost, man? Like, yo, I need to talk to you, man. A lot of big things happening. We need to talk about, the label. We need to talk about signing you to the label. And it looks like Ghost is really not in the mood to talk about anything. He's like, yo, man, not right now. I'm not really in the mood to talk about this right now. We'll talk about it later. So it looks like he's upset. It looks like he's tired. It looks like something's wrong with him. And yeah, Devon is kind of like pushing the business on him. And he's like, yo, man, don't disrespect me, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it another time, not right now. So he's obviously not in the mood. Something's going on with him that we don't know about. We don't know if he's messing around with a girl. Maybe he was messing around with another girl. Who knows? So here we go with Jizza and Inspector Deck. He's in the studio. So you got Inspector Deck to come to the studio to lay down some vocals, right? So he's happy about it. Things are coming out right. And Inspector Deck is like, yo, man, I'm ready to do my own album, man, but I'm definitely going to jump on yours. So he's real eager. Inspector Deck should be working on this album, but it doesn't seem like, people are really paying attention to him enough to do so. So, of course, Devon back on the phone again throughout the episode. All we're going to see him doing is being on the phone with his assistant or the label. Meanwhile, there's parties going on and random people are everywhere in this Wu Mansion. So they're listening to music. Devon walks in, and yeah, they're listening to Capadonna's new stuff. Of course, Raekwon's like, yo, messing around with the ladies. He's like, yo, Cap, man, yo, go ahead and rap, man. Go ahead and do your thing and do this part. So your boy Capadonna is rapping his part. Inspector Deck, he's there. They're all just kind of celebrating Capadonna coming back home at the same time, laying down some hot vocals or whatever the case is. So, of course, Ray definitely respects Capadonna and everything that he's doing. And definitely it seems like there's a camaraderie on the music side of things, but it's time to talk business. And Devon is like, yo, can we talk for a second? So he's letting them know, yo, man, I know you just came out in the whole nine, but guess what? A label definitely is interested in you, and we're starting our own label. We want to sign you to our label. And he's like, for real? He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about all this. Y'all doing something big. Like, he just came out, so he doesn't really see himself doing it. And he is like really surprised that he actually has a record deal offer. But he's saying, listen, y'all got to pay me, more than like $400 a week. He's like, all right, well, you know what? Look at this contract right here. I think we could do better than that. And he's like, yo, son, yo, this is $750,000. He's like, yeah, that's your advance. That's for your album. And he's like, are you serious, dog? So he's so happy. So he's like, yo, I'll sign right now. I don't need no lawyers to look at this. So he's ready to sign. So Capadonna got his own deal with the new label. Now here's where the conflict is going to start. We see the janky manager pouring drinks on the pool table. What is he doing pouring drinks on the pool table? But they're celebrating Capadonna, right? Signing to the new RZA Records, right? Inspector Deck's like, yo, what are we celebrating? The manager's like, yo, Capadonna just got a deal with Razor Sharp Records. And he's like, what? Inspector Deck is surprised. Of course, Capadonna's like happy or whatever. He's like, yo, you excited? He's like, yo, but look at Inspector Deck's face, man. Like, he is being curbed once again, looked over. He's trying to, cheer Capadonna on, but he feels like he should have been before Capadonna, right? He's been in the group since the beginning, laying down verses and everything, and he's being looked over. So here we go. Devon gets a call from his assistant saying that, yeah, there's big charges, $14,000 on Raekwon's card, and it's not being paid. So he's like, yo, where's my check at, right? So Raekwon comes in. Devon gives him the check. Keeps the assistant on the phone. He's like, yo, man, you spending money on this, you spending money on that, $500 for this and $700 for Red Lobster. He's like, yo, why you checking me, man, and all this and that? Like you investigating me? He's like, yo, man, listen, if you want to do something with, Wu-Tang money, just let me know. He's like, yo, I ain't telling you nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, you're going to have to pay for these charges on your card, like we said, or we're going to have to take it out your check. So Raekwon is on some like, yo, I ain't paying nothing. So he's just utilizing Wu-Tang's money, ain't trying to pay it back. He's like, yo, how about I just take it out of your check? Better yet, you know what? Decline all the charges. Here's a piece of paper, and he shoves the check on the Raekwon. He's like, yo, this conversation's over. And Raekwon is like, yo, man, you used to be just like us. Now you like the man. You become more Hollywood and executive. And again, this is where the music side, the artist side conflicts with the business side, right? So Raekwon jets out. And now, again, Devon is trying to talk to ODB and trying to find Ghostface, right? So he's trying to get ODB to sign, right, to get this remix done with Mariah Carey. He's trying to get him to just, settle the deal and move forward to do this remix. And he keeps saying, yo, keep talk to my manager, man, talk to my manager. He's like, yo, what is wrong with you, man? This is freaking Mariah Carey, yo. Like, you sing her songs all the time. This is huge. Tommy Mottola. And meanwhile, who walks in the door? Cherie walks in the door looking for Ghost. Okay, he's like, yeah, I don't know where he is. Maybe you should come back later. We're dealing with stuff. I got to deal with Ghost. And she's like, is he upstairs? And again, she's thinking that Ghost is messing around with some girl, right? She doesn't think anything else. So she goes upstairs, knock on the door. He's like, yo, Devon's trying to stop her. And she's knocking on the door. So Devon comes upstairs like, yo, come downstairs, calm down. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk. I need to handle business. So if you can just leave and come back later. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere. Here comes Inspector Deck, like, yo, I need to talk to you. And Devon is like, yo, man, I'm going to talk to you later. And Inspector Deck like, nah, later ain't going to work for me, dog. It's not going to work for me, B. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk now. So she's like, you better go handle your business. You know what I'm saying? You better go handle your business. So he's like, listen, I'm going to come back. So he goes in the room to talk to Deck, right? Meanwhile, Cherie is still knocking on that door, trying to get in with Ghost in that room. Is he going to open the door? That is the question, right? She has no idea. So Deck is like, yo, man, you told me y'all still forming the label, But Jet turned around. Now they downstairs celebrating Capadonna. And he wasn't hating on Capadonna. He's like, yo, Capadonna gets everything that he deserves to get. But how y'all gonna look over me? And I've been here since day one, laying down these verses, first guy to rap on the songs and the whole nine, and y'all not trying to get me a deal. He's like, yo, man, I don't know why people ain't looking at you to give you a deal, but I promise I'm going to work on helping you get a deal. He's like, yo, you've been saying that for a while. He's like, yo, you like becoming the man. You just been lying to me and stringing me along, but you ain't really trying to sign me. So again, Inspector Deck being curbed, obviously being curbed, and he's not feeling how he's being curbed, and he's like, yo, I'm out of here. He's leaving the Wu Mansion, and he's probably leaving the group as well. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. So now here we go. Devon is stressed out. Still ain't signed Ghost. Signed Capadonna, but he still didn't get ODB on board. So here comes the janky manager. Like, yo, we got some beers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I heard about that deal that you're trying to do, for ODB with the Mariah. That's a good idea. Maybe I can try to get him signed. So he throws the contracts at the janky manager. He's like, yo, go ahead, see what you can do. He's like, all right, dude. All right. So, again, Devon is on the phone, and he's getting stressed out because all these labels are still calling. Here comes Power. Yo, Power was good. So, of course, Power, you know what Power's on. Power's always talking about the Wu wear, how he has another idea, and how this, that, and the third, and he needs to definitely have Devon on board with it. But Devon is dealing with so much right now that he's letting Power know, like, listen, we could talk about it later. And Power's like, yo, man, we need to talk about it now. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk about it now. It's like, yo, talk to my assistant. And he's like, I ain't talking about your assistant. Like, let's talk about it right now. I'm right in front of you. So he's like, bro, like, for real, like, we got to talk about it later. Can we talk about it later? Okay, I'm dealing with a lot right now. He's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up when you got more time, right? So it's obvious Devon is under major, major pressure, and he's trying to keep the expenses down. Come to find out, $27,000 was charged to ODB's card by this janky manager for pizza and everything. And before he can get on him, he says, all right, ODB just signed. Instead of $1 million, because ODB wanted $1 million, he's gonna take $50,000 to jump on the joint. You know what I'm saying? He's like, how'd you get him to do it? He's like, yo, man, I just told him that Mariah Carey's the biggest artist in the world. And he's like, yo, I told him the same thing. He said, hey, it's a win-win for us. He's like, yo, what about these charges? The $27,000 for the pizza. And he's like, well, that's the price of doing business, right? So he's like, yo, if there's no me, there's no ODB because I'm his manager. So he's like, you know what, man? I'll cover the charges. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, it works out for me, So, of course, Devon is like, yo, this guy's just scamming off of ODB. So back in the studio, we see the Jizza talking to some girls, showing her how the beat works and how the music works. He's like, yo, I need to talk to you. So, again, Geffen Records, who signed the Jizza for his album, they're expecting an album. So the Jizza is like, yo, I got the album done. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much done. All I got to do is get the rest of the crew. He's like, yo, we just need more lyrics from you. He's like, nah, I need the crew. So again, Devon is being stressed out. These guys are in the hallway. He's yelling at the guys to get out of the hallway so he can handle business. They're trying to play video games. It's like these random dudes just hanging out, and they have no, purpose of being there, They have no purpose of being there. Your boy is stressed out, man. I can understand it, being in the music business for some time, handling business and trying to get things done. And when you're relying on other people, it's very hard to do. Meanwhile, Cherie is knocking in, and she kicks down the door, and Ghost is laid out on the bed. He's like, oh, you acting like you sleeping? Nah, your boy is all messed up. He can barely see. He can barely move. He is totally out of it. She's like, call a doctor, call a doctor. What's going on? And it's an emergency. He is knocked out. Ain't nobody in the bed with him. He just can't even look straight. He's totally out of it. What's going on with Ghostface, man? So the doctor comes in, and he checks him out, gives him some medicine or whatever. And the doctor tells him, yo, man, you're borderline diabetic, right? He's like, how long have you been having these headaches? He's been for a couple of years. And this lady been giving him stuff, so that's what that, ointment was, or that water, that liquid was on the side. and it smelled terrible. He's like, listen, man, you need to come in for a checkup. And Ghostface wasn't trying to hear that he was, diabetic and everything else like that. So he's really thinking about, how it's going to affect the music and everything else like that. And she's like, yo, man, stop thinking about the music. Stop thinking and worrying if somebody going to think you soft. You need to focus on your health. Of course, Cherie is there, always giving him the great advice, always telling him the truth. And she's like, you need to think about your health. So she always going to hold him down. She was like, yo, I thought you was with some other girl. And he's like, nah, baby, you my earth. You my earth, baby. You know what I'm saying? You my earth. So, it's all good with them. So meanwhile, Inspector Deck got his stuff, and he's about to walk out the door. Devon is trying to stop him. Like, nah, don't leave. We going to work this out. I promise you I'm going to keep working on it. He's like, yo, you've been saying that all this time. And Inspector Deck, he had it up to here. He's done. He's done with all the promises. He's done with all of that stuff because there's been other artists who've come before him as far as getting a deal, and he still doesn't have a deal, still doesn't have a solo album. So he walks out, and unfortunately, Devon can't stop him. Again, Devon back on the phone, his assistant's calling, and he was supposed to be at his child's birthday party, and it didn't happen because he's busy trying to do this and trying to do that. And so he goes upstairs to talk to Ghost. Right? He's like, yo, man, you okay? Everything all right? You feeling better? He's like, yeah, he's feeling better. He's like, yeah, she definitely talked some sense into me that I need to focus on my health. And Devon is like, yo, man, I just need to talk some business with you, man. We need to sign you to the label. And, I heard that you was, some other cast was hollering at you. He's like, yeah, they called, but I'm not distracted by them. I'm going to sign with y'all. Y'all already know what my loyalty is. So he signs the contract, happy about it. They're going to make it happen for Ghostface album, right? Supreme Clientele, all right, if y'all remember that. So now Devon got Capadonna, he got Ghostface, he got ODB, and here we go with the janky manager charging up the card to get all the pizzas. Of course, your boy is pissed off, but that janky manager helped him get ODB to sign a contract to do the remix with Mariah. So he goes outside. He got all his work done. The RZA calls him like, yo, everything straight? He's like, yeah, I got everything done. Got everything I need. But again, he went through all of that in one day, missed his child's birthday party in the whole nine to get all these guys signed, all of that. And he's still frustrated about the whole deal, right? So those are the frustrations that an executive producer goes through. So shout out to the executive producers, the managers, and everybody who manages artists. We know and we are sympathetic and empathetic to what you go through every single day to uplift the artists. And still, you're dealing with all the difficulties, the personalities, the egos, and everything. So shout out to y'all. Again, this is the recap. Episode 7, Wu-Tang Clan. Definitely a crazy episode if you understand what, being a manager and executive producer of artists is all about, fam. Again, I appreciate you all for watching. Definitely, if you're finding me for the first time, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and absolutely, we're going to keep this thing going. I appreciate your love and your support, and definitely thank you for watching. And until next time, salute.